risers, welcome to this video with Secret having a little update. I'm going to show you her doing the in-hand class at the obstacle show, but I'll also show you as we're starting to get her riding again. It's been a super long time. So first up is the obstacle show, doing the in-hand class with Laura, doing the bridge. And this is something that she totally did not practice for, had not come in to do all this stuff. Of course, she thought it was appropriate to have a little scratch there mid routine and then carrying on. And it just kind of was a bit of a spontaneous thing because I always love my horses getting some extra miles put on them. And so if somebody likes the horse and wants to take them in the show, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, like let's just do it. And especially this being in the in-hand class is okay because where she was in her riding training, might not have been suitable for her to do it that way, but at least for the in-hand, you don't get to see the people that are all there because of the direction of the filming, but there's a bunch of people watching. It's a totally different atmosphere than the typical arena when we're doing different things. So it's good for her to get used to the environment, the chaos of the extra horses around, of all the people being there, sometimes people being nervous. And that can just add to the whole energy of the situation, that the horse can feel a little bit like, oh no, like what's going on? Are we supposed to be scared? But you can tell Secret is super chill and not really caring about anything going on. And so they come in, they did the backup really nice. They're going over to the little transfer. You can see Secret doesn't care at all. Of course, had to also take a potty break. So I think Secret needs to learn a little bit of show etiquette, that maybe you should wait to do that until after your routine, or you could have done it before. But unfortunately, we can't really tell the horses things like that, so we just have to kind of roll with it. Going around the pumpkin obstacle here, which is not something that she had seen or practiced before. So what we usually do at our shows is we try to set up a couple days ahead of time, so that way our students and our horses can practice, and that way anybody visiting, they can practice in the morning before the show, and there's no competition for practicing in the arena. So she did awesome, ended up with first place in the class because they did it really smoothly and very accurately on the obstacles. And of course, they don't get that counted against them, the things like the horse pooping in the arena as the horse is doing the obstacles. So this is some long lining. So long lining is something that I love to do with my horses before riding because I think it really just helps everything be a lot calmer, safer, smoother when we go to ride them, because they're getting direction from the person behind them. They're getting the steering, the right, left, pulling on their head, understanding where to go. They're also understanding that if you flap them with the reins at the side, which kind of simulates kicking or flapping legs, that it can mean go. And then it transitions into riding a lot better. And so this is Katie, who is my student from Poland that came to hang out for a while and was helping get the mares going again. And you can see Secret's like a little confused, like, are we supposed to go? Is this what we're doing? And it's like, yep, you can go. So the long lining was something that she has known for a very long time. It's very easy to long line. So that she was really great for Katie even to learn how to long line with and practice her long lining skills with. And then riding wise, Secret had ridden with me nearly 2 years ago because she, I think it was not quite 2 years, probably like 1.5 years ago, but it was before she was bred for her latest foal. And then of course they're pregnant for 11 months. And then her foal was born in June. So she'd been off that whole time, just kind of not doing anything, just being a wonderful pasture pony, a nice brood mare, and now getting her back riding. And when I rode her before, I only rode her at the walk because I like to take things slow with horses when I'm training them. So I like to have the walk really well done. And her walk was going really well, and she knew her, forehand turn, haunch, her sideways, her backup, all of that was fantastic. And we were basically ready to trot. But then I made the decision that I would just breed her that year and give her more time off to just be a horse out in the field and do groundwork and stuff, and didn't advance her riding. So this is her first ride back after that 1.5 to 2 years off. It wasn't quite 2 years, but a little more than 1.5 years. So a really, really long time. And sometimes people say, like, what is the horse like when you don't ride them for 2 weeks? Well, this is what Secret looks like when you don't ride her for over 1.5 years. And she came back really nicely, like a little confused at first because she only had rides at the walk prior to like when I had trained her myself. She'd only ever been ridden at the walk, so it's not like she was going walk, trot, canter and completely trained and then had 1.5 years off. She was just trained walking only, walking, backing, sideways, forehand, haunch, all that kind of stuff, and then had all that time off. And so she came back really, really nicely, easily, a little confused, need a little clarity about going forward. And of course, there's other stuff going on in the arena. So that's my little Evelyn riding Elfie behind her. And my other little one is on little Dare Bear as well. So they're kind of chaos in the arena. It's always tricky being a mom. I'm trying to, take care of my kids and make sure I'm watching them, but I'm also kind of helping Katie and making sure she's okay. Secret did a nice little haunch turn as she turned away there. So there's stuff going on in the arena, and she's learning how to do some different things. And Katie is also figuring out how to teach horses to do different ABCs. This has been a whole new journey for Katie, learning how to do all of these little pieces, because she had ridden for many years, but training horses who don't know like anything or barely know stuff is very different than riding horses that know stuff and you can just ride with very light, subtle aids because they already kind of know what they mean. It's a different skill set for sure. So it's such an awesome opportunity. I'm so glad that Katie did a great job with her. And you can see she did a lovely little haunch turn there, which is moving the horse's shoulders. So one of the things that's different from riding a super experienced horse versus an inexperienced horse is you need to be super clear with your body weight and your direction of where you're guiding the horse. Because if you're just keeping your hands super steady and you're using a very little minimal direct rein, the horse isn't going to get it. So see how far Katie's hand is out to the right there? That's because when they're learning, they need it pretty obvious of like, you are going in this direction over here to the right. Versus when you're riding a trained horse that's at that level of refinement, you just barely use your right rein at all, and you're just using your one leg. Whereas when they're learning and they're inexperienced, you have to be as clear as possible. Also, with your weight has to be very clear. So this has been a really fantastic learning for Katie, because in the beginning when she was riding some of the green horses and trying to do these things, sometimes the sideways wouldn't go so well, and it was a matter of me helping her figure out, like, all right, you've got to crunch your ribs down on the one side so you can open the door on the other side and make it a little bit easier for them to figure out what's going on here. So the ABCs, what we call the ABCs, going really well, which is the forwards, backwards, hips, shoulders, sideways, those kinds of things. And then also playing around with some of the obstacles, which Secret has been doing obstacles from groundwork for an extremely long time. She's come out for a lot of my clinics and workshops to be a horse to do stuff on the ground. So all in all, super easy. And to me, this is what a horse training should look like. Really boring, really slow, really smooth. Let me know your thoughts.
Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.